At Manhattan University, a graduate degree is not out of reach. You'll gain real-world skills, credentials employers value, and connections to New York City's top companies. Choose from their new Master of Science degrees in Healthcare Informatics, Digital Marketing and Analytics, Business Analytics, or Financial Analytics, all built around hands-on learning and industry partnerships. Graduate ready to lead, not just work. Take the next step at manhattan.edu/graduate. Manhattan University. Lead the future.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We have a person who I believe is preeminent in this field, Mr. Jay Johnson, New Yorker, of course. Jay Johnson was Secretary of Homeland Security. He was also general counsel for the Department of Defense in the Obama administration. He was general counsel of the Department of the Air Force in the Clinton administration. And as a matter of full disclosure, we were colleagues in the Clinton administration. And I believe Jay Johnson just did a phenomenal job in every position that he has had. And if there's anyone who knows anything about Homeland Security and possible threats to New York, it's going to be Jay Johnson, and I want to welcome him with us today. Mr. Secretary, are you with us?
Governor, thank you for having me. I grew up on WABC Music Radio, and you and I are the same age, so I know you appreciate that.
Oh, I tap my foot every time I come into WABC, and they're now the number one talk radio, Mr. Secretary. Yes. So it's a little different than our WABC.
I know. But thank you for having me.
No,
I readily accepted when I received the offer to have this conversation with you.
Thank you. But Mr. Secretary, tell me, am I correct in a level of alarm and concern for a possible terrorist attack, a cell in the United States, a terrorist, a radicalized American? Maybe that's what Austin, Texas is.
Yeah.
But and the state of the Department of Homeland Security right now, which that's your department, is without a budget, is with questionable leadership, in my opinion. Yeah. What do you think?
So, big question. I'll try my best to answer it. First, let me go back to something you said earlier. The president, in launching this act of war, and that's what it is, an act of war. If our nation's capital were attacked by another government with airstrikes that took out the leadership of the U.S. government, we would all call it an act of war. So it's an act of war. He acted unilaterally without going to Congress, without making his case to the people. I mean, to their credit, George H.W. Bush, before he launched the first Gulf War, went to Congress, explained it. There was a robust debate. Congress approved it, as the Constitution contemplates. George W. Bush, right after 9/11, got authorization from Congress to go after al-Qaeda and the Taliban. And then, of course, George W. Bush got Congress to buy into the second Iraq war based upon flawed intelligence, but he took his case to the people. That did not happen here, and we heard shifting rationales and a lack of a coherent understanding. Now it seems to be regime change because Iran is the principal state sponsor of terrorism around the world. Okay. But nevertheless, he's acted unilaterally without congressional authorization. Now, to your question. In an environment like this, when I was in office, and I know you appreciate this because you and I both had to deal with crisis response, I never wanted to scare the people for the sake of scaring them. I always tried in any public statement to say three things. One, here is the threat we face. Let's be realistic about that. Number two, this is what your government is doing about it. And number three, this is what you, the people, can do to help us without being too alarmist. I do believe that we have a basis for concern here. When I was in office, we created the NTAS system. The person who helped me do that is a person you know, Roger Perino, who went on to be your commissioner of Homeland Security. He worked for me for a period of time. Yeah. And we created an NTAS system to be able to talk to people without the coded bar system in real time and tell them the truth about what was happening and what they can do to help us. And I think that we have reason to be concerned about the current threat environment. I want to hear more from the Department of Homeland Security about what they think. I don't get intelligence briefings anymore, so I know what I don't know. But I want to hear more from my old department about what they think the American people should be concerned about, what the government is doing to secure the homeland, and how the American people can help us in that effort.
Yeah. On your first point, Jay, I don't know why the president, in his own interest, didn't speak to Congress and didn't speak to the American people before. You know, I think the president almost has a tortured theory of I'd rather apologize afterwards than ask for permission. You know, but
he doesn't feel like he needs to. I think he thinks that his base will follow him with whatever he says and whatever he does.
And he may be right about his base, but why give the opponents the baseball bat? Why? And you have there is a segment of people in this country who aren't on the extremes. Why not talk to them first? Why not lay out the facts? Bring them along.
That is the essence of, you know, the Trump era. Why not try to broaden your base, talk to swing voters? He was before the nation in the Congress 5 days ago. Why didn't he try to make the case then?
Well, that's a mystery to me. I mean, that State of the Union, rather than, I don't even remember what he said in the State of the Union. I mean, it had no lasting impact. Didn't do him any good, didn't do the nation any good. Yeah. But that was a perfect opportunity to lay out this situation in this case. And and I believe if the American people heard the facts about this situation, they would understand it. You have to explain the timing, but I mean, this was a critical threat to the United States and the Middle East. We could debate how imminent a threat, but it was a critical threat.
Well, one of the things you have to consider in that calculus, and I asked myself, if I were still in the Situation Room in the National Security Council, what would I be advising? What would I be asking? One of the things I'd ask is, what will the public reaction in Iran be if the so-called Great Satan takes out their supreme leader, who's been their leader since 1989? How will the public react there? I think it's a mistaken assumption to believe that the people in the streets in Tehran and Iran are just simply going to do what Trump says they're going to do. The other thing to remember is that terrorist organizations are not conventional armies. For every one you kill, you may be inspiring 2 or 3 others to join their ranks. And I hope that this administration, in launching this war, and that's what it is, thought through both those issues.
Yeah, very well said. And we hope the Department of Homeland Security actually knows what they're doing and they step up, because those of us who are really old enough to remember what 9/11 was, and there's a whole generation doesn't appreciate it, Jay, but right. We do. Jay, pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for talking to us. You bring experience and you bring clarity. We're going to take a break. Mr. Secretary, good to hear your voice.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
Soon. Pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks, Jay.
All right.
We'll take a break. I'll talk to you in a moment.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.